Hello, this is my first attempt at publishing a YouTube video. I'm doing it for several reasons. I have a Facebook page called Watchman on the Wall. It's specifically to help remnant believers who are time harried condense the current event news and put it into a biblical perspective. I'm not an expert on it. I use other sources who are experts, such as Don Stewart, Amir Sephardi, a lot of people from Calvary Chapel, a lot of pastors, my own pastor who leads a remnant church here in Reno, Nevada. So the goal here is to make small widgets for people who are time challenged and really can't watch the news. There's not a lot of good news. There are a few sources, and as these progress, if people are interested in this type of information, I will give links and share what I have found. So it surprises me that Christians really don't understand what is going on in the Middle East. A lot of that has to do with their pastors not making it relevant. Some of it has to do with the replacement theology, the notion that the church has replaced Israel, and that is not true if you know the Bible. God made an eternal covenant. The last 7 years of history in particular will be focused on the nation of Israel. So I thought it necessary to define what a Muslim is. Muslims are very simply those who adhere to the religion of Islam, but that is not as cut and dry as it seems. So please do some research. I'm going to add some links that will go into more detail. Mainly, there are two factions of Muslims, the Sunni, who are more moderate, and the Shiite, who are more radical. But the important thing to know is that all Muslims believe that the Mahdi is coming soon. They believe that more frequently than Christians believe that Jesus is coming soon, and that there's a lot of ramifications to that. It's important to know that, to arm yourself so you can speak more knowledgeably about the issue and with Muslims and other people in general. I'm not here to single out the Muslims. It's just probably the fastest growing religion in the world, Islam. As these are going to be little widgets, I'm going to focus on what's in the news right now. This will probably be old news by the time this is published today. But who are the modern Kurds? The Kurds are genuinely a nation without a country. The ancient origin of the Kurds is beyond the scope of this discussion, but I have a link here, and I will try and also post separate links below the YouTube video. They are a Muslim group, but they are of a very moderate type and rare in that they are pro-democracy, though they do not have a democratic country at this time. They're very loyal to whatever country they settle in, and they're fierce fighters. Right now they're fighting Erdogan in Turkey, which they'll probably get decimated here pretty soon because Erdogan is a dictator, and anybody who disagrees with him is labeled a terrorist. So where is Kurdistan? Kurdistan generally covers a wide area. You'll see there is a country or a place on the map called Kurdistan, but it is spread through other countries. So you'll see Syria there to the west, Iraq to the south, Iran to the east, and it encompasses part of Turkey to give you a more broad location. This next slide shows the region, which is in the Middle East in the center of the map. So what you have is Africa, the continent of Africa to the left, the Middle East in the center. The next slide will give you a closer up of where Kurdistan in general So the red circle is the general area we were talking about, and that is the Middle East. Well, this is where I'll get a lot of kickback, but the U.S. does belong in a supportive role in the Middle East. It's not only historic, but it is biblical. And this, my audience, I hope, are born again believers who have a general knowledge of the Bible. I hope to entice you to increase that knowledge. Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East, and the Kurds are proponents of a democratic state if they had a state. Trump's decision to pull out of the nuclear deal with Iran was hugely warranted, and there's a 5-minute video link here which explains it much better than I can. The decision for Turkey to carve out a piece of northeast Syria, so they say, to provide a place for Syrians displaced by the Syrian civil war, is better addressed in a very short video by PragerU, and the link is here. But most importantly, for people who might be watching this channel or getting information from it, this all plays into biblical prophecy, most of which is found in Isaiah 17 and greatly in Ezekiel 38 and 39, which discusses the Gog-Magog event. Gog-Magog is incorrectly termed a war. It is not a war. It is a coalition of nations that are named in Ezekiel 38. Some of them are by their ancient names, but they are easily translated and recognizable, and I can do a separate video on that if there's interest in that. Again, more intelligent folks than myself have put together, and especially Don Stewart, and below there is a bit of a link to a bit of a dated video, but it contains good resources. I also wanted to use this channel for remnant believers to gather and get quick information, those that don't have time to watch hours long of video, which God has blessed me to do being retired. It's hard, a lot of it's repetitive, so I'm going to try and pull out main points. If people are interested, what I need you to do is subscribe and like and respond constructively. Tell me what you would like to hear. As I said, I hope to use this as a clearinghouse for remnant believers, that if you do have a remnant believer church or gathering in your city, we do in Reno, Nevada at Harvest Family Fellowship, that we can post these and get together as groups physically, not just through social media. So I hope to use this channel in that respect also, to answer questions or give resources to questions that I can't answer, and mostly to encourage you to be Bereans, to study, to look up. Your redemption does draw nigh, and to encourage last day believers. I am pre-tribulation rapture. That doesn't have anything to do with salvation, but it is my worldview, my biblical view based on years of study. I would recommend Amir Sarfati for news at Behold Israel. I would recommend J.D. Farag's updates at Calvary Chapel, Kaneohe. Anything by Don Stewart, Jack Hibbs is good, Tom Hughes from San Jacinto, Church 412, Barry Stagner. There's a lot. There's a new one I just found, Rock Harbor Church in Bakersfield, California. Derek Gilbert at Skywatch TV, and I hope this continues on. Hit like and subscribe and look up.